Okay. So, recently, in the last 48 hours, the Home Secretary, Shamana Mahmood, MP, has decided that the asylum system is broken.
Whoa.
I mean, it is.
Big news.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Big news. It's broken. And it needs an overhaul.
That's news, isn't it?
It's like we haven't heard this before for the last 20 years plus. But she says she's going to bring in a whole raft of new measures
Oh, I've never heard that before.
to sort it all out.
Right.
And, well, the takeaways for me are, one, that it's just lies. It's just nonsense. And beyond that even, I don't have any faith that they'll actually implement most of this.
No.
And even if they did, it's, one, just tinkering around the edges, and two, not what we want anyway. It boils down to more safe and legal routes. Boils down to ID cards,
Oh, okay.
largely.
So they're going to control immigration by controlling us instead. Right, very good.
And just net more people in.
Yeah.
More safe and legal routes.
Controlling
Okay.
immigration by
Let's make sure they don't.
opening the floodgates.
Let's make sure
Legally.
they don't cross on small boats. Let's make sure they legally enter by an aeroplane.
Right.
Love it.
Let's give them a packet of peanuts and a refreshing drink on their way in.
Yeah. And have no way for the Home Office lawyers to deport them because it's all legal.
Oh, excellent. Okay, fine.
Okay, here's an article. The key takeaways. What we need to know. So, refugee status to become temporary. There's lots of talk that we're going to copy the Danish model. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway. If people are a chancer coming from the third world,
What's
they don't necessarily care.
Danish model? Is that when you pay them to go away?
Danegeld.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, it's that in Denmark apparently they made it that you don't ever, or not ever, but it's very much more difficult to become just a permanent right to remain. So it's always temporary. At some point,
As it
you've
should
got
be.
to go back.
As it absolutely should be. You know, refugees, if your home country becomes stable again, like Syria, for instance, we had loads of people in London cheering and whooping and hollering that the Assad regime had toppled. Oh, go on then. See you later, mate.
Yeah.
Bye.
Off you pop then.
Bye-bye. Like, you don't belong here.
Well, lots of Middle Eastern countries do this. I mean, you can go and work in like Saudi Arabia or you know UAE or something, but you'll be a temporary citizen forever.
Yeah,
There you go.
Right, yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Which is normal.
It's mental.
Most of the world,
That isn't the
particularly the developing world, have just got normal, i.e. based immigration policies.
It's not even based though, is it? Like,
Yeah.
like you say it as if it's some like radical thing to be like, well, you can't permanently become a citizen here. It's not really based. It's just
Normal.
obviously that's going to subvert everything. It will subvert democracy if they get the right to the franchise. Subvert everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's just normal.
Yeah.
No,
Is it
no
based
citizenship.
to just not be suicidal? No, not really. I suppose not
Yeah.
really.
Is it based to want your culture? No, it shouldn't be.
There'll be a human rights law overhaul, and the second you actually look at the detail of it, it's not any sort of overhaul. That's not a correct word for this at all. They'll tinker around the edges of Article 8 of the ECHR. No question of actually leaving the ECHR.
All right. Okay.
No question of that. They'll just put like a slightly different emphasis. Look, the government will narrow the application of Article 3. Not good enough. Not good enough.
But
You're not getting it. That's not what we need. That's not what we want.
But also not necessary, because other countries don't apply the ECHR in the way we do. They don't allow asylum applicants to stay with the nonsensical excuses that they give and the ways that they weaponize the ECHR. Other countries don't allow that to happen. So you don't. You could just not. Well, you could just do nothing, and it would be the same thing. Just how it's.
I mean, this was always the same
interpreted.
case with the EU. I know the ECHR was a different thing from the EU, but the EU would pass regulations, and the rest of Europe would like treat them as guidelines and maybe do a bit of that, and we would just take everything as absolute gospel and gold plate everything. So
Yeah.
I mean, is this going to be the same with the ECHR?
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, it's just milk toast is not even the word. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. We need to leave the ECHR. Obviously, need to do that. Ending housing and financial support. To some sort of limited degree. like they want to reduce the amount they're spending on hotels, but then just immediately just talk about, oh, we'll use bases, military bases and stuff. Again, no question of actually really just getting rid of them to save us money. No question of that. And there we have it. And there we go. New, safe and legal routes. So
Brilliant.
So all of it then up to this point is just bullshit, really.
It's padding for this bit.
Yeah, right.
Brilliant.
It's what it all boils down to at the end of the day is we're still going to flood you as much as possible.
And I made this point on the State of Politics. Check out State of Politics.
State of Politics.
Last night we recorded a segment actually on this, and I made the point they're saying under the changes, volunteers and community groups will be able to sponsor individual refugees. Oh, great. So they've allowed in a bunch of, I don't know, third worlders, Pakistanis, whatever. It'll be those people that'll be like, well, yeah, I want my cousin to come, so we'll just sponsor him instead. Great. So people we never wanted here to begin with will now then be able to flood the country with more of their cousin bros.
Because it says at the end of
fam.
that there'll be an annual cap on arrivals. Well, I think you're exactly right. It will be 100,000 people and their cousins and second cousins.
Great. Brilliant.
And in Parliament on Monday, she ruled out any sort of cap anyway.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Okay. So even the one limiting factor is gone. Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Visa bans, again, it's just so weak. Countries like Angola, Namibia and Congo, if they don't take their people back, why on earth they're not taking their people back already is crazy. But we'll look at maybe an emergency break. Could you get more of a contrived bullshit phrase than that? We'll put an emergency break on it. Yeah, right.
Why are we being held hostage by third world countries? It's just absurd. Yeah, no, we're not going to take our people back. Oh, what? Well, please take your people back. No, oh, no.
I mean, presumably because
how pathetic.
These third worlders now occupy positions like Home Secretary.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
And an increased use of technology, ID cards. So more safe and legal routes and ID cards. Okay. Brilliant.
And no cap.
Brilliant.
Love it.
So let's hear from the horse's mouth a little bit.
On this country has been heavy. 400,000 have sought asylum here in the last 4 years. Over 100,000 people now live in asylum accommodation, and over half of refugees remain on benefits 8 years after they have arrived. To the British public who foot the bill, the system feels out of control and unfair. It feels that way because it is. The pace and scale of change has destabilised communities. It is making our country a more divided place. There will never be a justification for the violence and racism of a minority. But if we fail to deal with this crisis, we will draw more people down a path that starts with anger and ends in hatred.
So it's all just to stop anyone really getting angry about their country being stolen from them.
But also, the fact that they've not put a cap on it means that entire statement is moot. You know, she's like, oh, people are angry with the rate of change. Yeah, okay, but you're not putting a cap on it, love. So the rate of change is going to continue, but you'll be like, no, shut up, because it's legal.
Yeah. Well, and the way it will work is the Home Office will draw up some proposals that look good at the time, and then the human rights lawyers will go to work and systematise it and say, okay, and they produce these sheets that say, okay, if you're in, whatever, Somalia, these are the things you need to say on your application. They can't legally refuse it. So, I mean, under this scheme, you could have 20... I mean, we think we've got high immigration now at 1 million. There's no reason why Nigeria couldn't provide us 20 million people a year. They can do that. And the other point I'd make is that is a brutal centre parting. You could roll a penny down that. If she ever shaved her head, she'd have a tan line going up the middle.
I have no doubt about who we really are in this country. We are open, tolerant and generous. But the public rightly expect that we can determine who enters this country and who must leave. To maintain the generosity that allows us to provide sanctuary, we must restore order and control. Rather than deal substantively with this problem, the last Conservative government wasted precious years and £700 million on their failed Rwanda plan, with the lamentable result of just 4 volunteers removed from the country. As a result, they left us with the grotesque chaos of asylum seekers housed in hotels, shuttled around in taxis, with the taxpayer footing the bill.
Pretty certain there was just an outcry recently about what's been done on the Labour taxis, maybe?
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
this is just such. I hate the theatre of Parliament now. I once engaged with watching these videos, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it now because it's all theatrics, it's all complete nonsense. You can't hate them enough. I despise this theatre.
It's 100% messaging while they do whatever the hell they want to do behind the scenes anyway.
Yeah, it's all this feigning of the feigning of opposition. Shut up. Demolish the whole thing. Disband all of this nonsense.
One positive, though, to take from it is the movement of the discussion, even if it's all bullshit coming from them. They wouldn't even be talking like this like a year ago. They wouldn't even be, from Labour talking about, trying to one-up the one-upmanship of who's going to deport more, who's going to be stronger on the asylum system. Yeah. There's at least that.
Well, so the thing is, some people will poo-poo all of this as worthless and pointless, and it's such a, to build off what you said, is that this serves a purpose because it shifts the entire Overton window. The dialogue is now, well, how many people are we going to deport? How are we going to control this? And that's normal mainstream dialogue. Mm-hmm. So whether they do something or not is actually besides the point, because this furthers what we want in the end. Because this normalizes the conversation. So when they fail, which they will, then someone else can come in power and go, well, they failed. We're going to succeed where they failed. We're going to do this. Oh, and actually some more stuff. And people will cheer it on because they'll go, yeah, that's actually what we want. And it's become the mainstream dialogue.
I think there's actually a legitimate point in that because, I remember back to the early 2000s. Now, before the year 2000, we were just a normal, sensible country. But after 2000, the main place where the dialogue was had was on things like BBC Question Time. I mean, nobody watches it anymore, but back then it was. And the lefties started this process where every time like a Tory came on, they just called them racist over whatever the thing was. It's racist, 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 racist. And the Tories basically they got Stockholm syndrome over this. And they got to the point where they kind of had, by the time they were, certainly up to Boris Johnson, all they ever wanted to do was prove that they're not racist, to the point where they've elected a first generation Nigerian immigrant as their leader. They're desperate to prove they're not racist. And that's because the dialogue was owned by the left. So if what you're saying is, I think you are, that now the dialogue is owned by the right, you might not get the benefits tomorrow, but I've already seen where this takes a country over a period of a couple of decades.
Yeah, because even if Nigel Farage fails, right, which he might do.
Oh, he will.
Yeah. I mean, what comes after him is going to be very extreme, and they'll just build off this rhetoric and go, yeah, guys, they were all talk. We're going to do this now, and everyone will cheer. Everyone will want it.
If nothing else, certainly the dialogue has moved. No one can deny that. Let's listen to a touch more.
We must remove those who have failed asylum claims, regardless of who they are. Today, we are not removing family groups, even when we know that their home country is perfectly safe. There are, for instance, around 700 Albanian families living in taxpayer-funded accommodation, having failed their asylum claims. This is true despite an existing returns agreement, and that Albania is a signatory to the European Convention on Human Rights.
Yeah, so again, we're just not deporting people when they, by absolute sort of legal rights, should have been deported already.
But at least she's saying the right thing. That's something.
Right.
A year ago, that wouldn't have even been brought up.
Yeah. Yeah. Mention the ECHR here.
While some barriers to removal are the result of process, others are substantive issues related to the law itself. There is no doubt that the expanded interpretation of parts of the European Convention on Human Rights has contributed. This is particularly true of Article 8, the right to a family life. The courts have adopted an ever-expanding interpretation of this right, and as a result, many people have been allowed to come to this country when they would otherwise have had no right to. and we have been unable to remove others when the case for doing so seems overwhelming.
So you hear something like that and you think, oh, that's good. Right? Oh, they've actually said that. So that's good. But then, again, once you really let them go on a bit further, you hear what it's really all about.
Of providing refuge. We will always be a country that offers protection to those fleeing peril, just as we did in recent years when Ukraine was invaded, when Afghanistan was evacuated, and when we repatriated Hong Kongers. For that reason, as order and control is restored, we will open new, capped, safe and legal routes into this country.
There is. Yeah. And then a bit later, I think I've got it lined up, someone asks her, what's the cap then? And she's like, well, I'm not going to give you that. We're not going to do that.
So, also, a small point on Afghanistan. When the military evacuates a country, you're supposed to bring your military personnel out of the country. You're not supposed to bring everyone in the country with you. That's not how evacuations work. Yeah.
That's also not something you should be saying in Parliament, considering the amount of Afghanis that are committing crimes against the natives. Probably not something you should be highlighting. Mahmoud.
And then His Majesty's loyal leader of the opposition stands up.
Madam Deputy Speaker, can I thank the Home Secretary for advance sight of his statement, most of which I read in the Sunday Telegraph, actually. But I am pleased that she is bringing forward measures to crack down on illegal immigration. It's not...
Oh, wait, are you? Are you pleased about that?
Also, why is she dressed like a chavette in a pound store who's just left her trackie on?
She's pleased now that there's stronger words coming out. It's funny because
Thank you, Mr.
not
Speaker.
too long ago she was proud.
As a first-generation immigrant, can I welcome the Home Secretary's statement, which I feel this immigration white paper is a move from the 20th century to a much better future immigration system. In particular, I'd like to thank the Home Secretary for removing the annual limits on work visas and also on international students, both of which I lobbied for on behalf of the Wellcome Sanger Institute and Anglia Ruskin.
All right, so you changed your tune a bit there. So no conviction on it whatsoever. I mean, here's another clip of her.
We had a cap of tens of thousands when David Cameron came in. We need to ask ourselves, why didn't that work? Rather than just saying, make another promise. Something went wrong there. So it's not just...
something went wrong.
About throwing out numbers and throwing out targets. Something is wrong with the system. So I'm talking about the system. People who are throwing out numbers and saying, oh, well, we'll leave the ECHR and so on, are giving you easy answers. That is how we got in this mess in the first place.
That doesn't make any sense.
That is such nonsense. Oh, well, we had a cap and it wasn't stuck to. Why wasn't it stuck to? Because you don't want to, obviously. Don't sit there and be like, well, we can't put a cap on things because it wasn't stuck to before. Oh, brilliant. Oh, okay. Well, that makes perfect sense. God.
Yeah.
I can't stand these people.
Yeah, I mean, someone had asked, that last clip, someone had asked her, what is the cap then? Or are we going to leave the ECHR, yes or no? And she was like, we can't answer that. We can't tell you that.
I mean, she can, but the answer would be no, and she knows that's not the answer that she can give.
Yeah, right. And so after the statement, people get to stand up and ask some questions. We'll look at this beaut. Their little Nigeria badge. Yeah, she's really going to hold the government.
It's a place that's been made richer because of the people who've come here from all over the world.
Literally.
Some of them have fled persecution and have made a home over many years. I meet these people every week.
Oh, do you? Brilliant. Yeah, anyway.
That's such nonsense. No, I tell you what has happened. People have come here and made their homelands richer by remittances that we don't tax.
Sorry, but
it's not made us richer, it's made us poorer. That's a fact.
On a slightly broader point, why is the UK Parliament a series of ethnic women discussing how many people get to come into my country?
Because
what is this?
Well, because they allow anyone to have the franchise, don't they? So obviously our democracy can be subverted by foreigners. Obviously.
Zulu sighted to the southwest, sir. Thousands of them. Meanwhile, the Lib Dems.
Brilliant. Great.
Fair and sustainable. So we welcome some of what the Home Secretary have said on that score. But what is not helpful is the Home Secretary claiming that the country is being torn apart by immigration. Acknowledging the challenges facing our nation is one thing, but stoking division by using immoderate language is quite another. I will, however, welcome news about safe and legal routes. This is something that...
Of course you do. This is the theme of this. You know, on both sides of the House, it just keeps coming up again and again and again that they want safe and legal routes.
So finally, we hear from somebody with a little bit of European ancestry, and his thing is that the ethnic women discussing this are not going far enough to let enough people in.
Yeah, well, he's an effeminate douche, isn't he? So weak men in Parliament now.
Fairness, to act with efficiency and to act with compassion for local communities in the UK who want this resolved, but also for asylum seekers too.
No.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I have to say to the honourable gentleman, I wish I had the privilege of walking around this country and not seeing the division that the issue of migration and asylum system is creating across this country. Unlike him, unfortunately, I am the one that is regularly called a...
Oh, language.
No, she means business, though.
Language, madam.
She dropped an F-bomb and a P-bomb. She means business. Theatrical bollocks.
Actually, the Speaker did pick her up on that and say apologise, because even if you're quoting someone else, you can't use that language in the House. And she basically said, well...
I've said it.
I will. Yeah, I've said it now. So
brilliant.
It's in Hansard now. But, yeah, so... okay, here's again, gets to the bottom of it. Listen to this bit.
What we won't do is set arbitrary targets or caps.
I thought in your statement, just 20 minutes before, you said you would bring in caps. Because someone just asked a question, what is the cap? And she just said, we're not going to have caps.
We have learnt the lessons of previous governments.
What lessons? What lessons have you learnt? Us being flooded, that lesson?
I think that setting a number in that way actually costs public confidence. The better thing to do is to actually get on with delivering these reforms, passing...
Shut up.
But the reform means nothing if you haven't set a cap.
Yeah.
I hate you. You cannot hate these people enough. You can't hate them enough.
And
to continue the UK's proud history of offering sanctuary while simultaneously reducing illegal channel crossings, the right way for refugees fleeing persecution should be through safe and legal routes that are subject to full security checks and controls.
It's just that again and again and again from both sides.
They're not getting
safe and legal routes, safe and legal. Yeah, they're not getting it.
They're not getting it. You are sure. Put a little bit more pressure on this lid of the pressure cooker. Try and keep it down a little bit more. Try. It's going to blow up. It's going to blow up.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I think there would be general agreement that we have chaos in the immigration and asylum system, and that the government should be looking for new ways to discourage people from crossing the channel in small boats. But in what she says today, is there a danger that those people that we do actually need to come to this country legally, with the skills that we need to fill the employment gap, to keep our NHS working and to work in the social care sector, will actually look at this country now and say, no, I don't want to go there?
Oh no.
Oh, well, to hell with them then. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
We've sustained ourselves enough with that. This is absolute just detritus. I hate it so very much. It's completely redundant. All of these points, complete nonsense, so out of touch.
You've seen this thing where it was reported that we would strip assets from the people that we're deporting.
Yeah.
And it had been reported something that we'd actually take jewellery off of them when we're deporting them. And there was no question of that. But all the lefty commie traitors have jumped on
of money. There are good ongoing negotiations going in relation to return hubs. I very much hope we can... I thank my honourable to do so before then. That is why we are exploring large sites, including military sites. I know that will engage more debate in this House over the coming weeks and months, and I look forward to that. But given that he's a member of a party that started hotel use, I hope he'll reflect on that first.
Daniel Zeigler.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support my right honourable friend's statement, and particularly her announcement about safe and legal routes. She'll know that cities like Cambridge have a long tradition going back to kinder transport to welcoming people from Syria and Ukraine. And I very much hope she'll work closely with authorities like Cambridge City Council to work on measures that can make these routes work.
I thank my people in destitution. That is why we do make financial packages available for people to voluntarily remove the country, and that will always be the case.
Speak Wishart.
Deputy Speaker, in their manifesto, Labour promised to defend migrants' rights and build an immigration system based on compassion and dignity. Instead, what we have is a policy that's welcomed by Reform UK and that's even found favour with Tommy Robinson. From throwing refugees into destitution to denying any meaningful route to citizenship to forcible evictions, where exactly is the compassion and dignity in that?
The SNP for you.
It's toxic, racist narratives and the scapegoating of migrants and asylum seekers for what is nothing to do with them. The chronic housing crisis, the running down of public services are not caused by migrants. They are caused by political decisions and by the grotesque inequality in this country. Does the Secretary of State understand that attempting to out-reform reform is actually just boosting this baseless far-right narrative and will only deepen divisions when we urgently need leadership and hope instead?
Let me tell her, I couldn't care less what any other political party has to say about these matters. I don't care what other politicians are saying on the television. I don't care what other activists are saying either. I care about the fact that I have an important job to do, and I can see that there is a problem here that needs to be fixed. If it was possible to pretend there wasn't a problem because there wasn't one, I wouldn't be saying there is one. There is a genuine problem in this asylum system, and we need someone to sort it out, not to pretend it doesn't exist, which I'm afraid is one of the things that fuels the division in the first place. My own constituents, since I have been Home Secretary, have been telling me directly of abuses in the visa system that they can see with the evidence of their own eyes long before any officials in Whitehall have ever clocked onto those things. It is a moral responsibility when you see something broken to fix it and to make sure that the fact that it's broken is not fueling division in our country. And let me also say to her, it is Green Party politicians who are absolute hypocrites because they talk great language in here and then oppose asylum accommodation in their own constituency.
Single digit IQ Green MP. Shut up. Everyone understands basic equation, you know, the basic equation of supply and demand. But when it's confronted in relation to immigration, they conveniently always forget the demand part. They're like, it's just supply, guys. It's just supply. Shut.
So some improvement on the rhetoric, but all I'm seeing here is a parliament full of traitors.
Yeah.
And effeminate douchebags.
They're all about more safe and legal routes, and how dare you even notice that there's any sort of problem?
They'll all be replaced if this keeps up. Then they not realise that. Like suicidal empathy. Do you not understand that your jobs will become untenable because you'll be replaced by some foreigner? Do you not understand? Do you not even want your, like, on the most basic level, do they not have any sort of self-preservation instinct?
I don't think they think that far ahead.
My God.
As I say, the only positive is that it is moving the conversation, isn't it? I mean, apparently Nigel, just this afternoon, or very shortly before we went on air, I think, so I haven't actually got clips from it or anything, was going to talk about cutting foreign aid by 70%. Should be 100%.
Yeah.
And strip all foreign nationals of benefits. Which is nice. Again, it's movement in the right direction. And I think pressure from the online right.
Yeah.
Well, there is that, I suppose.
Where they're now trying to, the Tories, Labour and Reform are each trying to outdo each other. It's nice to see that, if nothing else.
It is literally mental that some foreigner can come here, work for 10 years, and then get a pension for the rest of their life. That's insane. That's actually insane. I think we're one of the only countries in the entire planet that does that. Oh, you can come here, work for 10 years, and then you get a pension? What?
Well, you remember Nigel not too long ago, someone said, what does it mean to be Welsh or something? He said, well, if you've been here for 10 years and you've mentioned taxes.
It was 5.
Oh, was it 5?
5 years.
Brilliant.
You've come here, been here for a few years and you haven't committed any crime and you've paid your taxes. You're as Welsh as any Welshman.
Great.
Well, of course, what we really need is just full mass remigration. In fact, it's inevitable, I would say. Some thought that that talking point, which now seems to be taken up across the House, some thought that was just a far-right fantasy. But in fact, now all the main parties are trying to outdo each other. So, okay, I'll leave it there because I've used up my time. But Yeah, it's annoying to see that our parliament is just packed full of enemies of sort of the nativist interest.
Yeah.
But the conversation is moving to the right.
If you would like to watch the full uncut version that is also uncensored, head on over to lotuseaters.com to find out more.